just can't see evil until it's too late. Hello, everybody. How are you? I hope you've had a fantastic week. Welcome to The Search. My name is Lisa. If you are new here, welcome. I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. I cover true crime, and it is kind of an umbrella. I like to focus on missing, unsolved, and sort of things that are trending at the time, trials of that nature, and some solved. I like to give hope to people that, hey, sometimes it can be years, but they can get justice. If that's something that you feel like you're interested in, please stay, watch the episode, and if so, hit the like button, subscribe, leave me a comment, let me know you're new, especially so that I can welcome you in. All right, guys, let's get into it. We today are talking about Megan Nichols. Now, some of you may be familiar with the case and some may not. I really just felt a bond with this. I also do some awareness work. I talk about teen violence awareness a lot, and that is something that is involved in this case, and I feel that some of the signs are in here that could help. So, with getting started, Megan Nichols was 15 at the time of this story, and I want to tell you a little bit about her. She was a high schooler. She was going in during the summertime. This happened in July of 2014. So this was the summer, and she would be going into her sophomore year at high school. So things were going great. She actually was really a well-behaved child. We say child, but teenager. At the time, it was just her and her mom. Her mom was a single mom for the most part. She did have interaction with the father, but for the most part, it was her and her mom. Her name was Kathy Jo Hutchcraft is the mom. So we'll just go and say Kathy for now. And her father is Jackson Nichols. So if you hear me refer to Jackson, that is her father. All right. Now, you know what? She was avid in going to church and being a member there. She enjoyed singing a lot. Also, she played the ukulele. She just really was well rounded in things that she did. She enjoyed outdoors and she really was full of life. But unfortunately, she also, because of being such a good person and believed that a lot of people were good people and that anybody, if you were good to them, you would receive that back. Like I said, she went to church and she believed that you give to everybody and you trusted everybody, to an extent, but as we are all equals. And so, anyway, unfortunately, though, there are people that don't return that feeling. With that said, she did get involved with a gentleman who was a few years older than her, named Brody Merbarger. Now, he was 18 years old. Like I said, she was 15 at the time. Now, her birthday is July 18th. Okay, 1998. This incident and what we're talking about happens on the weekend of the 4th. So I'm taking you up to that, to the weekend of the 4th in 2014. So she was about 2 weeks from being 16. So some people, if you've heard this before or if you read about it, you may see 16, you may see 15. But that is why. It's like a 2 week difference. Either way, though, the mom was not very thrilled about this. Anyway, she did not like this kind of setup. She just kind of knew, okay, look, he's 18, you're 15. And so she was very guarded with her daughter about that. That was probably about the only thing the mom was not thrilled about, because everything else she was doing well. in life, and her friends thought so much of her, and just such a bright light. So much was, always spoken well about her. Moving forward, we get to the weekend of 4th of July. We are in 2014, and it is now July 3rd. That day, she asked her mom, "Do you care if I go for a bike ride?" And so her mom's like, no problem. As long as you don't misbehave. And it was kind of a joking thing because she said she never had to worry about her daughter doing anything wrong, as far as misbehaving and stuff like that. So she was gone for a little bit and then she came back. Well, once she came back, the mom's like, "Look, we need to go grocery shopping, get some things because, cookouts are going on. It's 4th of July. Y'all know how it goes." Anyway, while they're out shopping, she tells her mom that she's not feeling well and that she need to go home, like she felt sick feeling. The mom's like, "Okay, I'll take you back home." But she had to go back out because she wasn't finished. So she takes her back home, drops her back off, and is like, "All right, if you need me, call me, but I'm going to go knock this out, finish it back out." So she gets back home. When she gets home, it's, later in the evening. And when she walks in, it's like that, like deafening silence, if that makes sense. And she said she just felt like when she went to like kind of holler for her and didn't hear anything, like, "Megan, I'm back," didn't hear anything. It just was like eerie. So she goes, discovers Megan is not there. Kathy is filled with panic, like what to do. Kathy calls the grandmother and they rush to the police station. All right, so that's what they go do. They rush over there to make a report about her sudden disappearance. And unfortunately, their expectations were not exactly what they got. For immediate assistance, they basically were turned down since it had only been a couple hours. And since the teen had only been gone just a short period, they weren't exactly going to just jump out and get all the resources. Now, I have talked about this before. She was 15. I feel like, what are we waiting for? I understand that there are runaways. There are things that happen, and if they jumped probably exact every time, that's all they would be doing is looking for kids running away or doing. But listen, they're 15, and I say let's put out a lookout. Let's get things going. They are children, still 15. They are children. It's 4th of July. She was home by herself. You don't know, something could have happened. So, like I said, they did not get the response that they thought that they were going to get. So, Kathy and her mom returned home, determined to search for clues that could help, like give her some info on something, Megan's whereabouts. So Kathy was like trying to think, like recall anything. She said that she went back upstairs and she pulled like her blankets, everything, and found her phone. When she picked it up, her heart sank. The phone had been wiped clean. All right, erasing all photos, messages, contacts, and any trace of Megan. They also discovered a note in Megan's room. This is really where she knew she just wasn't out and about. Something was seriously wrong. She said that the note said, "Mom, I love you, but I'm never going to be happy here. Don't come looking for me, 'cause why spend a lifetime looking for somebody that doesn't want to be found?" She said the writing appeared to be Megan's, but according to Kathy, the words were not hers. Like it just was not the way that she spoke. But it did say it was in her handwriting. At that time, she's now like contacting the cops again. Time is moving further. So she's talking to a friend, and the friend is like, have you checked your bank accounts? Like, because like I said, yes, she's telling the cops, like, this is what I found. But still, in the meantime, like, she's hitting the ground. Like, I'm not gonna wait for you guys to decide, okay, this is the magic hour we start looking, you know? So anyway, friends, like, have you checked your accounts or anything like that? She starts looking, and sure enough, money had been taken off her bank cards. It said that the money had been withdrawn on July 3rd, you know, so the same day, at around 2 p.m. That timeline matched when Megan had gone on a bike ride earlier that day before returning home due to feeling unwell. So she went on the bike ride, remember, and then when she left with the mom again, went out and then returned home, you know, because of her not feeling too well. So she did that on her bike ride. So see, something was already going on, okay, to where she went got the money, which would explain why like phones were erased, stuff like that was going on. Now, Kathy did say, of course, once they got, you know, looking into footage, which we'll get into that, that they stated that her daughter's last images were captured at the ATM surveillance, okay, on video, watching her ride up there to the bank, withdrawing money, and then before she vanished. Now, the mom does say that she can see in the distance her boyfriend's car, like kind of like she sees part of that car. So she is already knowing, like telling them who she feels is involved. But before we get into that, let me tell you about the father, what goes on with him. The authorities then at the time, now they're starting to search. All right, the authorities didn't need to search far before stumbling up across, you know, promising leads, which they thought were the dad. According to court documents, Jackson Nichols was a registered sex offender and lived in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Okay, now remember they're in Illinois, so he's in Texas, Oklahoma at the time. Naturally, he faced questions for two reasons. One, due to his legal status and whether he could have, you know, harmed her. And two, Megan might have wanted to, you know, be with her dad if she had problems at home, you know, you hear stories like, mom won't let me be with him, you know, you will, things like that, right? He had warrants against him, and the U.S. Marshals apprehended Jackson. However, he was soon cleared as a suspect. Now, there was a short interview with Jackson Nichols, and apparently there was some issues in the system that was not taken out, had been misprinted in there, put in there wrong. And anyway, within like a matter of minutes, he was cleared out. So that kind of is another situation, and you know, alleged on that end. He is like in tears, and he is like, what's going on? Like, my daughter. I mean, he's just concerned. He did nothing but speak very kindly of Kathy and how well. He even said, you know, I did not raise her as much like her mother, and her mother did an amazing job. I mean, so it sounded, you know, everything was like on good terms with this moment, them trying to work together to, you know, find. And so Kathy said, you know, I never considered my ex-husband a viable suspect because she had a suspicion about what happened to Megan. She revealed that her daughter had been romantically involved with Brody. His middle name is Ian. So Brody Ian Merbarger, as I said earlier, shortly before her disappearance. However, it was a complicated situation. Now, we talked about the age, all right, but he was simultaneously in a relationship also with another girl, creating the classic love triangle. Megan is 15. What does she know about love triangles with an adult? He's 18. You know, these are signs. He has so many toxic signs coming out of him. To her even going and getting money out of the bank from her mom, and the cheating and verifying it and the lying and the so many toxic signs that you see. And when you see these in a teen relationship, run, get out of it. Okay, mama is telling you it's not good, and your mama wants nothing but the best for you. Kathy had become concerned about the situation, considering, like I said, the age difference between Megan and Brody being 18, and this love triangle. It was just toxic city. Megan had told her, that there was issues going on like around prom time, and I think he was gonna actually like take somebody else to go to prom or to do some things, and it upset Megan. And the mom, basically he's playing games back and forth. There was just different situations. The mom could see her upset. So let me tell you what Kathy did. So she intervened and she confiscated Megan's phone to check her messages one evening, and Megan's emotional turmoil was evident, okay, in her texts. So this is all prior, all right? That's why she knew that he was not a good person. She had seen where she was communicating her frustrations, with her mother. Brody expressed his eagerness to pick her up immediately. After reading everything, seeing the aggressive texts, the back and forth, Kathy's like, you know what? I'm going to call him. Kathy calls him and tells the young man, as she puts it, that you are forbid from contacting Megan. Basically, you're not going to be seeing Megan. You're not going to be contacting her. You're not going to be coming around, and stay away from her. So when she did all this, okay, now this happens around the end of April, and apparently was supposed to kind of all be resolved like by Memorial Day of 2014. So we're talking, in May. So there wasn't like really supposed to be like any beef going on. This was all supposed to be blown over. It's the summer. Things are going, supposed to be going good. She seemed to be happy, other than getting a little sick there on the weekend. But everything she thought was going pretty good until she walks back in that door and she's gone. She knew right away who she felt was involved. They searched and searched, and nothing came up. They went to question Brody. His dad also was an Illinois State Police. I want to take it to where they have, been out. They've started like exhausting their searches. They've looked, high and low, talked to people. Now, remember when I talked to you about when she was at the ATM, and she says, look, that is Brody's car in there. They're looking, at him, checking into some things on that. Well, at that time, he's frustrated, because he's like, I didn't do anything. I was not involved, da da da. Of course, denying it. He gets so mad that people are talking about and accusing. He even goes on Facebook denying any involvement in her disappearance and expressing frustration at being implicated in the case at all. So, I don't know if he thinks the louder you yell that you're correct. I don't know, but he really was going hard. I don't know if he felt because Daddy was a state police officer that, that he might have had some extra pull. I don't know. But anyway, always continue to pray, because that is what Kathy and them did. They actually went into another room that they had in their house, her and their grandmother, and they prayed. If you pray, I know that you will appreciate that part of the story, that to please whatever, bring her home, bring us answers. Sadly enough, there was a lady by the name of Jackie Beck. Jackie and her husband were out. They were walking, and this was on December 26th, the day after Christmas 2017. So now we're talking 3 years later. 3 years has gone by. They had found some remains. So of course she calls the law. They get out there. They had to do DNA to confirm things. Exactly 1 month, on January 26th, it was ID'd that it was Megan Nichols. So that was in 2018. Now they had confirmed that she had been murdered. While this had been going on, because it allegedly all started in 2014, they had been following up on leads, tips, trying to get what they can. They knew Brody, of course, was a suspect. But when the DNA came back and they had now found Megan, they started really going to work. On September 25th of 2020, an Illinois grand jury issued an indictment for Brody's arrest for the 2014 murder of Megan. He was arrested outside his place of employment in Evansville, Indiana, without incident on October 7, 2020, and his Lakewood West apartment complex was searched. He was extradited to Illinois and charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder, 1 count of concealment of a homicidal death, 2 counts of home invasion. He was found guilty and sentenced to 50 years on January 27th, 2023. I want to tell you first, justice was served. Prayer works. Don't ever give up. Keep trying. Kathy never gave up. Even at the very beginning when they told her, oh, she could just be a runaway. She could just, it's too soon to go out. This is a case, what do you mean too soon? Every hour counts. Every minute counts. Kathy already knew, look for the boyfriend, they could have been out looking for the car. These are different things they could have done. Allegedly, I don't know all exactly what they do, but I'm just saying allegedly, these are things that can be done. So if you are in this position, what all information you have, give to them, because I also do know, in respect for them, that there are things that we don't know about that they're doing, okay, that they can't tell us, to let you know what things they did and how far they went to make sure they had a conviction. I will let you know this: the car that he had already been scrapped. Okay, see, now he thought that he was free and clear. Remember, everything had been taken off her phone. He had ran it on Facebook. Time had started going by, and God bless, they put Jackie in the right position. I hate it for her, but I am thankful for Megan and her family that put her in the right position to find her in 2007. So in those 3 years, he had moved on, moved away, and thought life was going on for him, and he had scrapped that car. Well, the FBI testified that they were actually able to get into that car, to find the car and get into it, and that there was blood found in the car, which was Megan's DNA also. So it put her in that vehicle. At the end of every story that I tell, whether it is unsolved or solved, I do a ribbon that represents a prayer for justice. And in this case, although Megan Nichols will never be back home with her family and friends, she does have justice that has been served. So we will do a ribbon for justice for her. Megan Nichols, forever 15. This one was basically based off of a toxic relationship. He did strangle her. They said that she was basically strangled or suffocated. I should say that. I want to tell you, there was many signals. The way that he spoke to her, the love triangle, not showing any kind of respect towards her. I just want to say that Megan is definitely the victim. She was a woman of God. She was very dedicated to the church. And always pay attention to our signs. Pay attention to our signs. But sometimes we just can't see evil until it's too late. Prayers again. Thank you for watching. And I will see you on the next search. Good night, everybody.